Shri Isopanisad ki jai. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Ishavaishyamidam sarvam jatkinja jagatyam jagat tinatak tina bunjitaha magridaha kashasriddanam. Kurvani vaha karmani jajiva chekchatam samaha evam tvayi nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavritaha tamste pritya bigachanti yeke chat mahano janaha. Anejadika manaso javiyo nena devam apravam pravam asat tadavato jnanateti tistat tasmin apumata visvadadati. Tadijati tanejati tadure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya sya bhayataha. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmani evanupasyati sarvabhute suchatmanam tatuna vijigupsate. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmeva budvijanataha tatrako mahakaha sukha ekatvam anupasyataha. Sa prayagakchukamakaya navinam asnaviram sudamapapavidam kavir manisi paribu swayambhu yata tatyatorutan vyadadas chasrutipyaha samabhyaha. Andham tamaha pravisanti ye vidyam upasyate tato bhuyai vate damo yayu vidyayam rataha. Anyadevahur vidyaya anyadahura vidyaya iti susruma dhiranam yenastad vichachakshire. Vidyam cha yas yastad vedobhayam saha vidyaya miritam tirtva vidyayam ritamastute. Andham tamaha pravisanti ye sambhutim upasyate tato bhuyai vate tamo yayu sambhutam rataha. Anyadevahur sambhavat anyadahura sambhavat iti susruma dhiranam yenastad vichachakshire. Sambhutim cha vinasam cha yastad vedobhayam saha vinasena miritum tirtva sambhutam ritamasnute. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pitam mukam tattvam pusam apavrinu satyadharma yadristaye. Pusanika seyama surya prajapatya vyuharasmin samahate jo yatte rupam kalyanatamam tate pasyami yo savaso purushaha sahamasmi. Vayuranilam amritam atedam basmantam sariram om kratos smara kritam smara kratos smara kritam smara. Om Agne Naya Supatara Yesman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidman Yodashmaj Chuhurana Meno Buyistam Tenama Utim Venema Om Tat Sat. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. So we are on mantra 10 again. Anyadevahur sambhava anyadahur vidyaya anyadahura vidyaya iti sushrumadiranam yenastad vichachakshire. So we're going to go over now the purport in the Bhagavad Gita to those verses 13th chapter 8 to 12. Before we do that, there was something we discussed previously, and those are the questions that the Mayavadis can't answer adequately. They're at the end of mantra 9. And so at the end of mantra 9, at the end of the purport, mantra 9, it says, in the last paragraph, such men, unable to recognize their own foolishness, never consider how it is that God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory energy. So that's question 1. If he's God, how can he be entrapped by his own illusory energy? Secondly, such men say that God is all-powerful, but they do not consider that if he is all-powerful, there is no possibility of his being overpowered by Maya. So that's another contradiction. It's the same question, but another contradiction. These self-made gods cannot answer all these questions very clearly. They are simply satisfied to have become God themselves. So, if God created everything, and then they say that when Krishna appears, he's subject to the modes of material nature, he has a material body, then how can he be subject to Maya? It's his own illusory energy. And if he's all-powerful, how come they think that he's overpowered by Maya? these questions are contradictions in the way they're thinking, and they have no clear answer for it. Okay, so now we're in chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, verses 8 to 12. So, amanitvam adamidvam himsa shantirarjavam acharya pasamam staryam atma vinigraha. I'm sorry, acharya pasamam socham staryam atma vinigraha. Indriyarte suvairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkadosana darshanam ashaktir anavisvamga putradara grihadesu nityam cha samichitatva iston isto papadisu mai chananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharine vivikta desa sevitvam aratir jana samsadi. And then adhyatma jnana nityatvam adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha tattva jnanartha darshanam itaj jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atonyata. Okay, so now, anyone here did you do the homework where you connect 18 points in mantra 10 to the Sanskrit words here? Anyway, we'll do it together, but take notes. So, first thing, it says, one should become a perfect gentleman and learn to give proper respect to others. So that is amanitvam. Or humility, right? Number 2, adamitvam. Adamitvam. That means pridelessness, or one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame. And then ahimsa. One should not become a source of anxiety to others by the actions of his body, by the thoughts of his mind, or by his words. Right. Number 4, shantir. One should learn forbearance. Forbearance means patient tolerance, even in the face of provocation from others. And shantir means tolerance. Okay. Next is arjavam. So you take these notes. One should learn to avoid duplicity in his dealings with others. In other words, being straightforward, honest, and so forth. And number 6, acharya pasamam, which means one should accept a bona fide guru. Acharya upasanam. And then next is socham, which means cleanliness. But it says, in order to approach the platform of self-realization, one must follow the regulative principles enjoined in the revealed scriptures. That leads to cleanliness of mind and body. And then socham, staryam, one must be fixed in the tenets of the revealed scriptures. That's number 8. Atma vinigraha, self-control. One should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization. So you see, when you connect these two, you get a deeper understanding of what it means. And then, next, Ashaktir Indriyartesu Vairagyam. So renunciation of sense gratification. So one should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body, nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own. So, okay, Indriyartesu, in the matter of the senses, Vairagya, renunciation, Anahankara, being without false ego. One should not falsely identify himself. Okay, so that's that whole line. Indriyartesu Vairagyam Anahankara. Yes. So it's the whole line. It said, Indriyartesu Indriyartesu Vairagyam Anahankara. Huh? 11. And then 12. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosana Darshanam. I know, we're just going over it. So Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosana Darshanam. One should always remember that as long as he has a material body, he must face the miseries of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. There is no use making plans to get rid of these miseries of the material body. The best course is to find out the means by which one may regain his spiritual identity. Okay, and number 13. One should not be attached to more than the necessities of life required for spiritual advancement. Ashakti, right? Being without attachment. All right, that's 13. And 14. Anavisvanga Putradara Grihadisu. Okay. Number 15, one should not be happy or distressed over desirables and undesirables, knowing that such feelings are just created by the mind. So nityam cha samachitatva, keeping the equilibrium of the mind. And then, number 16, one should become an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, serve him with rapt attention. So that's, nityam cha samachitatva, istanista papadisu, that whole thing is 15. And then the next one, Maya Chananya Yogena, 16, one should become an unalloyed devotee of the personality of God, Shri Krishna, and serve him with rapt attention. So, Maya Chananya Yogena, Bhaktir Avyabhicharine, that whole line is number 16. Okay. 17. One should develop a liking for residence in a secluded place. Viviktir desa sevitvam. And one should develop a liking for a residence in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere favorable for spiritual culture. And one should avoid congested places where non-devotees congregate. So that's Viviktir Desa Sevitam, and that whole two lines. Vivikta Desa Sevitvam Jnanas Aratir Jana Samsadi. That's 17. Then 18, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. That accept the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth, or one should become a scientist or philosopher and conduct research into spiritual knowledge, recognizing that spiritual knowledge is permanent, whereas material knowledge ends with the death of the body. So those are the 18 points. Okay, so is that what you wrote down? You got it wrong again. That's why we went over it. No, you don't have to show it to me. That's all right.
I just want to confirm one.
Which one? Just give me the number. 17?
The Prabhu is confused between 10 and 11.
10. 10 is Indriyarte Suvaira Yam Anahankara Evacha.
11, right? Anahankara is 11.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Indriyarte Su. The whole thing is 11. Anahankara Evacha.
And 14 is
Putra Dara Gihadis, right?
And what is Anabha?
What?
Anabha and Abhivadana. That will also come there. Freedom from entanglement.
Aratir Jana Samsadi, is that it?
No, Anabhi Shrangaha.
That's without association.
That will come in 14.
Ashaktir anabhisvanga putradara grihade. So all of that is 14. No, Ashaktir is separate. Ashaktir is 13, yeah. Ashaktir is 13. And anabhisvanga is without association of son, wife, home.
So anahankaran is what? 11.
What?
Anahankaran is 11. What does that mean?
Without false ego. No, but 14 is the whole thing. Indriyate suvaira gyam anahankara evacha.
No, 10 is indriyate suvaira.
The whole 11 is that indriyate suvaira gyam anahankara. That's 11.
Then what is 10?
10 is Indriya Atish Vairagya. 11 is Ahankara.
One second.
One should not accept more than he requires for the maintenance of body. That is indriyateshu vairagyam, renunciation and self-control.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. So, 10 is Atma Vinigraha. And then, 11 is Anahankara. Number 9. Shakti. Atma Vinigraha.
Prabhu, your second assignment?
Okay, one second.
Prabhu, what I sent you, only one thing is wrong here.
Atma Vinigraha. Okay, we're going to go through it right now.
Before that, I have a question.
Yes.
So, Prabhu, like, there is one difference. Like, when we say between 10 and 10 and 11. 10 and 12.
One should not accept more than required.
So basically, when we say one should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization, that is Indriyateshu and Vairagyam.
Okay, I'm going to go through it right now. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, 1 is Amamnitvan, 2 is Adamnitvan, 3 is Ahimsa, 4 is Shantir, 5 is Arjavam, 6 is Acharyapasanam, 7 is Socham, 8 is Staryam, 9 is Atma Vinigraha, 10 is Indriyarte Suvairagyam, 11 is Anahankara, 12 is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosana Darshanam, 13 is a Shakti, okay, and then 14 is Putradara Grihadesu. Yeah. Anabhisvanga Putradara Grihadesu, right? Okay. 1 second. Okay, 15, Nityam cha samachitadva. Okay, 1 second, 1 second. Okay, and then 16, Mayachananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharine. Okay, and 17 is, Aratir, no, Vivikdas Jnana Savitvam. Jnana Savitvam. Okay, and 18 is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam. Okay, so that's 18.
So probably I have a question between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
So 11 also says one should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body.
So 11 is Anahankara.
But Prabhu, it also says, nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own. So does it mean we have to put Vairagyam here? It has two components to it. That's why I'm confused between 10 and 11.
Well, 10 says one should not accept more than he requires for his maintenance.
That is like Indriyateshu, right? It's basically controlling your senses.
Yes.
So 11 has two components, so that's why it becomes Anankara.
1 second. One should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body, nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own. That's Anahankara.
Both the components?
Yeah, because the false ego includes the extension of the false ego into family and things like that, and nation and so forth. So what your question is, how does that differ from Putradara Grihadi?
Vairagya means renunciation. So for me, renunciation means one should not consider those who are related to be his body.
No, that's not what it is. It means that one should not accept more than he requires for the maintenance of the body. Okay, any other questions? We got it. So can you make your chart now correct?
Yeah, except Vairagya, everything is correct.
Well, okay, print it again. It should all be correct. Then we can hand it out. Okay. All right, so now we're back on our Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, 8 to 12. Okay, what was the homework was you're going to look up on the internet examples of trying to make a permanent position in the material world. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else do their homework? You did. Okay, let's hear what you did. Huh?
You also explained this in many lectures.
Yeah.
About cryogenics.
Yes.
So people are trying to freeze their body after death.
Yes.
Imagining that.
Before death.
Yeah.
Right before death.
So imagining that the scientists will discover or invent some solution that will prevent death and solve all the problems. That never going to happen.
I have two more.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. All right, well, you can do it for the weekend. All right, then, okay, so, Puja.
So Prabhu, as Prabhu said, continuing with that, so I have two topics which I could find in today. One is Mrityu, another is Jara. So Mrityu is, so one is topic and then solution proposed and vision, I mean who are the people who are doing it, and then the site reference. So topic is Mrityu, the solution proposed is Silicon Valley is trying to make humans immortal and finding some success. So
They are?
And finding some success, that's the article.
Some success. What's success?
Peter Thiel, the billionaire, co-founder of PayPal, plans to live 120 years.
Well, that's not a success yet. He's not at 120. He's not even 60 yet. Right? Who is it? Is that Larry Page?
Peter Thiel.
Oh, Peter. Okay. Mrityu and then Jara.
So Prabhu, Jara is the world's first anti-aging drug will be tested on humans in 2016 in trials, which could see disease like Alzheimer and Parkinson's consigned to distant memory. The drug name is metformin, which is given in diabetes. So they are saying scientists now believe it is possible to actually stop people growing old as quickly and help them live in good health well into their 110s and 120s. So I have a site reference.
Okay, good. And you had something else? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is for aging.
Yes.
But especially women are very concerned about aging, and so all the
Men are not? Men are not concerned about it.
men aren't that narcissistic, I believe.
Whoa, that's, Okay, go ahead.
And so we
How'd you go, Prabhu?
L'Oreal and Revlon all coming up with anti-aging.
Jai Ho. Yeah, I'm in the class.
revitalizers,
We'll be finished in about 20 minutes.
Refined body lotions and things like that. And so they don't really have any effect, but some
Okay.
people just go
How'd you
and
go?
buy it. So it's a very good marketing ploy. And so people just buy them because, especially women buy them because they want to.
Is it L'Oreal? L'Oreal?
L'Oreal, then
Yeah, L'Oreal.
then we have Revlon, then
What is it? Is it cream? Anti-aging cream?
anti-aging or age-defying body lotions and things like that.
Okay.
It's just catered towards looking youthful. And so
Right.
the current trend is that you should.
They use those things in the funeral homes.
Which one?
Anti-aging cream.
I think the mortician does a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Funeral home, they put it on the dead body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they look very beautiful.
They look better dead than they do alive.
They scrub the nails and the nail polish and everything.
Yeah.
But not many, but the women is So that's a huge
Industry.
industry and
Uncle Harry's makes anti-aging cream also.
I don't care about aging. I love being old, so I don't really buy that stuff.
Every young person says that. Then when they start getting old, they buy the cream.
But I'm not too young for a book. Another example, so this sort of combines the disease portion as well as the
Okay.
birth portion. The Zika virus induces fever, rash, joint pain, and things like that. And it also affects the birth of babies as well. So even the birth is caused of lactation. And of course for adults it causes joint pain and rash and fever.
Does it kill adults?
No, it's for adults are not that badly affected, but for babies it's definitely
Yeah.
a lifelong issue.
Now they're telling people not to have babies. But Zika virus is in the United States now too.
And so these are the two examples, and I actually thought about cryogenics, but since Srinivas Prabhu didn't use that example, I couldn't use it.
Okay.
So Prabhu, I was trying to find out something for Janam and Vyadi. I could not. I mean, Vyadi is basically disease, Janam is birth. So I couldn't actually find the source and the site, but like whatever they're trying to control the gender or trying to have test babies and all, so that can also.
No, the real issue is immortality.
Yeah.
Immortality is the real issue. No, but you missed the most important one. They're making robots, but putting in the brain of the human being in a hard disk. They upload the brain of a human being. Let's say your brain, right? Your brain. So they upload your brain into a hard disk, and they put it in a robot that looks like you. That way puja becomes eternal. Well, as long as the robot, doesn't break down, doesn't get rusty or doesn't get moldy or whatever, yeah. So they're trying to make people immortal like that by downloading the brain onto a hard disk and then putting it into a robot.
After death or before death?
No, they're going to do the mind down.
Well, the mind before death, the robot they can make any time they want. Because they're making robots now. You know, in the United States, there's 250,000 robots working in the factories already.
That's why I'm so jealous.
250,000 robots already working in factories in the United States. So, okay. So now, let's go back to the purport. Yesterday we covered nonviolence. Now, tolerance. Tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahlada, who, only 5 years old, was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlada tolerated him. So there may be many impediments to making advancement in spiritual knowledge, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination. Simplicity, arjavam. Yeah.
Can be anybody, right?
Yeah. Wife, neighbors, co-workers, friends, devotees, anybody. Yeah. Husbands.
So what do we do, Prabhu? We are Krishna Dakshara.
Forbearance, patient tolerance. Yeah. Exactly. Now, let's say someone insults Prabhupada or Krishna. Should you have patient intelligence? No. You must stop them, yeah. Or walk away.
So both are good for you? You walk.
Yeah, you can walk. If you're not strong enough to stop someone, you walk away. When you say strong enough, you're not able to defeat them philosophically, then you walk away. But you don't want to stand there and continue to hear blasphemy. That's very detrimental for your spiritual life. Of course, there's a third option. You can kill them and cut their tongue out and then commit suicide. It's all three things. You kill them, cut their tongue out, and then commit suicide. But I don't think you want to do that. If you're a Brahmin, you don't want to do that. You're not supposed to kill Brahmins. Or if the other person is a Brahmin, you don't want to do that.
There is no Brahmin, real Brahmin here.
Well, that becomes a debatable issue. You don't want to. It becomes a little bit of a gray area. So you don't want to, think that a person is not a Brahmin. You kill them, and then you become responsible for killing a Brahmin also. So, best thing is walk away. Or if you're strong enough, you stop them with argument and reason. Yeah. So just like there was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife, they invited Lord Chaitanya to have prasadam. They wanted him to have prasadam 1 month straight. The Lord refused. Then they said, well, in 2 weeks he refused. And he said 5 days. He refused. He said, I can't come to your house every day. I can't come successively 5 days. I'm a sannyasi. So he agreed to come once in a month. So when he came, see, they had their kitchen in one small room, and then they had a guest room for prasadam in another small room right next to the kitchen. They did that on purpose because their son-in-law, whose name was Amoga, he didn't respect Lord Chaitanya, so they built it special so that there was no room for him to get in. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya would stand in front of the room where the Lord would eat with a stick. And if his son-in-law came close, he'd start beating him and chase him away. Because, he didn't want him to insult Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya came that one day, and his wife, I think his wife's name was Sati, she made a huge feast, And they got this special banana leaf. It's a gigantic banana leaf like this, And they laid everything out on it. And when Lord Chaitanya sat down to eat, Amoga slipped in through the kitchen, and there was a door from the kitchen to the room where it was their temple room where they were going to feed Lord Chaitanya. And he snuck in there and he started insulting the Lord. And Amoga got so angry, and he chased him away, and he tried to run after him and tried to beat him. And then, so then he came back and apologized to Lord Chaitanya, and then he decided that he was going to commit suicide. Huh? Yeah. This is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But then he said, I can't do that. I'm a Brahmin. I'm not supposed to kill Brahmins. Then he thought he would kill his son-in-law. But then he was a Brahmin also, so he couldn't do that. And then he apologized to Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya said that he would well, he would try and save Amoga. Now, this Amoga caught a disease because he got the reaction for insulting Lord Chaitanya. So then the Lord finally, but Amoga tried to apologize to the Lord, and then the Lord forgave him and he healed his disease. Also, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya insisted that his daughter divorce him. This is one instance. Usually divorce is not allowed in Vedic culture. But if the husband becomes a blasphemer, usually what's permitted is separation, but not divorce. But if the husband becomes, or if the husband or the wife becomes a blasphemer against God, against Krishna, and it becomes antagonistic, then in very rare cases, divorce is permitted in that case, because it's impossible for them to come back together. There's two things. There's short-term separation, or there's long-term separation, or permanent separation. But in the case where the husband or the wife becomes, extremely antagonistic against God, and we have an example of Hiranyakashipu who's trying to kill his own son, right? So Prahlad Maharaj, basically rejected the father. But after the father was killed, he asked Krishna and Nrsimhadev to forgive him, bring him back to life again, and cure his thing. So the Amoga was cured of his sickness. He was forgiven by the Lord. But in the meantime, this whole thing was discussed about divorce, or killing oneself, or killing killing a Brahmin, or committing suicide, and it's sort of very detailed explanation is given at that part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. Yeah. Well, he was a Brahmin, born in Jagannath Puri. No, they probably did everything. I mean, there was a traditional time. They probably did the astrology and everything. Well, you see, the point is, Prakasananda Saraswati, he was the top. Sarvabhauma himself he's an incarnation of Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. He thought that Lord Chaitanya was just some sentimental sannyasi in a lower order of sannyasis. He also made a mistake in evaluating who Lord Chaitanya was. But later on, he came to realize that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of God, and surrendered to him. And so did his wife. Right? So he also made a mistake. Prakasananda Saraswati, he was the top Mayavadi in Benares. He thought Lord Chaitanya was just a sentimentalist. But then when he met the Lord and they had a discussion, and the Lord completely defeated him in the discussion, and he surrendered to him. So, I mean, if Krishna came today, right, how many people would accept him? Yeah, exactly. Just like he came 5,000 years ago, how many people accepted him? Very few. Yeah, very few. Very few. Even his own relatives, the Kurus, not all of them understood who he was. The Kurus. Yeah, the Kauravas. Yeah, well, Pandavas are Kauravas also, but then you have Duryodhana, you have Dhritarashtra, and all these, and all his brothers, and all their associates. Not all of them understood that Krishna is God. Okay. So, tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahlada, who, only 5 years old, was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlada tolerated him. So there may be many impediments to making advancement of spiritual knowledge, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination.
In this para, they are discussing tolerating the dishonor and insult which is related to spiritual thing basically. So Ram Maharaj also was going for the law. His father tried to stop him. Again, it's a spiritual thing.
No, he was trying to physically kill the boy, poison him, throw him off a mountain,
Yeah,
throw him.
he was going for devotion services.
Yeah.
But if one fails,
No, his only fault was he was a devotee.
yeah. He told him not to take Vishnu's name, but he's still taking it.
Yeah, he was a devotee.
Yeah, he was a devotee.
Yeah, that was his only fault. Now, is that a fault? No, but the father was a demon, so he thought it was a fault. Yeah.
My question is, like, we live in a material world and we get insulted and other things are going on. This one is basically, then again, material world because of this. So at that point, like, how one should behave there?
But that's why we're reading this.
But it's related to spiritual thing here. Like if you are doing spiritual practice in that process, you will be getting dishonored and
No, wait a minute. It's like this. It doesn't matter whether you think it's a spiritual context or a material context. If you're trying to be a devotee, then you have to follow this. If you're not trying to be a devotee, then you say, well, when I go to the temple, if someone insults me, I won't say anything. But if I'm outside and the same person insults me, I'll knock their head off. Well, that means that he's only acting like a devotee in the temple, but outside he's acting like a low-class man. Or worse. So this is a code for people trying to become devotees, and it doesn't matter whether you're inside the temple, outside the temple, whether you're in a spiritual context or a material context.
so when he basically spoke about
Yeah. No. Dushasan.
So what was that? You were not able to tolerate, but other brothers were able to tolerate.
No, he said, I said, he didn't do it on the spot. He wanted to do it on the spot, but out of respect for his brothers, for Yudhisthira, he didn't do it. He said, I'm making a vow that one day I will rip this guy's arm off and drink his blood, and I dare anyone to try and stop me. So when there was the war, and they were on opposite sides, and there was a fair fight, he grabbed Dushasan, ripped his arm off, and drank his blood. And he screamed before, he was holding him in his arms, and he screamed, let someone come and try and stop me right now. And no one dared. And he just drank his blood. He did exactly what he said, but it was in, let's say, a legal context. He was in a legitimate war, in an equal level battle. It was not unfair.
So what we should understand that time he tolerated it.
Yes, out of respect, out of duty to his older brother.
And then Chuck also tries to molest Prabhu. His 5 brothers were in the Vedanta region. They were incognito, and teacher, the king's brother, tries to insult Draupadi, and Draupadi will come running to the king, and Yudhishthira will stay. He was playing the part of the cook, and he wanted to teach it right then and there, but Yudhishthira just stops him. And then later on at night, he will go ahead and teach it. and that's how Duryodhana actually knew that the Pandavas were in the Viratha kingdom. But that was also, just obey the older brother and then stay put. But still,
So you are saying that Bhima was sent by Yudhishthira?
Draupadi will ask.
No, he dressed up like Draupadi.
And then Yudhishthira.
And they were supposed to meet. He sent her a note or something. Let's meet tonight or something. So Bhima said, "Send a note." And he dressed up like Draupadi. And when he came, thinking it was Draupadi, he killed him. Bhima killed him.
And Draupadi will.
That's also fair, right? He's asking a married woman to come in the middle of the night to meet him for a tryst. So it's like a policewoman gets dressed up like a woman of ill repute, goes out on the streets and solicits people. And as soon as some man comes, I want to be with you, he says, okay. And he says, how much is this much? And he takes the money out and says, you're under arrest. Right, it happens all the time. So Bhima, imagine how what's his name? Bicha? Kija. Imagine how he must have been shocked.
Teacher was a strong guy. He was one of the strongest guys that Arjun couldn't kill him.
No,
They chose Bhim because only Bhim can kill him.
but Duryodhana knows that only Balram and Bhim are able to defeat him.
Yes.
And because it was in the base.
That's why they came to know that, okay, Balram didn't went there, so only person who can kill him was Bhim.
And then the entire Kaurava army comes over and Arjun single-handedly defeats all of them. He puts them in a class and defeats all of them.
So here we try to understand how the tolerance comes in the picture.
Tolerance means you, out of duty, like for example, Haridas Thakur is Namacharya, right? Lord Chaitanya designates him. But still, he would not go to the Jagannath temple because the Brahmins, they were very fanatical and they would object to his being there, even though Lord Chaitanya accepted him. And he would not closely associate in public with Lord Chaitanya. He would always stay far away. So they let's say did not want to create an upheaval in the social order of things, even though they were so elevated. Because then, see, the point is, there's eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But if you spend your whole time defending, you don't have any time to do anything else, right? So if you get into all these unnecessary fights because of personal honor, you're fighting all the time with people. And it disturbs the mind. You can't chant, you can't do anything. So Lord Chaitanya would go and see Haridas in private and take him prasadam from Jagannath. And they would associate with each other. Lord Chaitanya is non-different than Jagannath. Right? So you see, they avoided unnecessary trouble.
But if it comes in the line of a duty,
No, duty is like what Jatayu did. Sita is being kidnapped. Jatayu is an old vulture. Huh?
60,000 years.
60 is very old, but still, because Sita is being kidnapped, he goes and he faces Ravana, and of course Ravana mortally wounds him. So he dies in the line of duty. It's his duty, because Sita's being, so if someone's like, stealing the deity here and walking out with the deity, what would you do? You could risk your life to save the deity. It's your duty.
if suppose Ravana is trying to...
You don't say, well, we'll buy another deity, let him take this one,
If Ravana tried to take some other lady other than Sita,
He would have done the same thing.
Since Jatayu and Dashrath were very close to Sita as his own daughter-in-law. And
my question was that makes him do his duty. Because we consider Sitaji as a daughter-in-law. But I am asking if Ravana was trying to take other ladies,
If he was in the
then
line of sight,
could have saved that lady, Jatayu?
He would have, yeah, why not? He's a devotee.
and Jatayu's nephew, Sampati's son, he is the one who informs Sampati that Ravan and Sita are flying over to Lanka, when the monkeys come over to the shores of the ocean, and they meet Sampati. He says that my son Suparshva saw Ravan and Sita doing this, but he was flying too fast and we were not able to stop him. And Sampati does not have wings of that, or else I would have stopped him. So he didn't even know that it was Sita, and yet he was willing to do that. And so if you are really honest in your duty, they would have done that.
Okay, so next, simplicity means that without diplomacy, one should be so straightforward that he can disclose the real truth even to an enemy. As for acceptance of the spiritual master, that is essential, because without the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. One should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services so that he will be pleased to bestow his blessings upon the disciple. Because a bona fide spiritual master is a representative of Krishna, if he bestows any blessings upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advanced without the disciples following the regulative principles. Or the regulative principles will be easier for one who has served the spiritual master without reservation. Cleanliness is essential for making advancement in spiritual life. There are two kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. External cleanliness means taking a bath, but for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This process cleans the accumulated dust of past karma from the mind. So you see, point 7 is described here in the Isopanisad. In order to approach the platform of realization, one must follow the regulative principles enjoined in the revealed scriptures. So that's socham. But here, from this explanation in the purport, you understand this socham doesn't simply mean physical cleanliness, it means cleanliness of the mind. And that's by following the regulative principles. That's why socham is described as following the regulative principles enjoyed in the revealed scriptures. You see? So if you connect this purport with the mantra and explanation 18 points, then you get a full understanding of what it means. Otherwise, if you just read this and you read just the Sanskrit meaning of the word socham, you're not quite sure if it syncs up, if it's connected to it. You know. Okay, and then yeah.
So internal cleaning is more important than external cleaning.
They're both important, but the internal cleaning obviously is more important. Yeah, they're both important because the external will reflect the internal. Well, in the case of Jad Bharata or Rishabhadev, talk about Rishabhadev, right? He was naked, he never bathed, but yet his stool smelled like roses. So the external and internal go together. But you can't you can't say, I'm a pure devotee inside, but outside I don't bathe, I don't brush my teeth, I don't cut my fingernails, I don't wash my hands after I eat. That wouldn't make sense.
But that is probably on a body platform.
Well, no, but when you raise your body from a normal material body to a temple of God. So what do you do in the temple? You leave it dirty? No, you don't leave it dirty. You have to clean it. So if you understand it, your body is the temple of Krishna, because Krishna's in your heart as Paramatma. Then you have to take care of it. Minimum maintenance. And then if you're engaged in deity worship, then it's maximum maintenance. You have to bathe 3 times a day, bathe every time you go to the toilet, only have clean clothes on, brush your teeth. I mean, everything is ritualized. And even the cleanliness of the body is ritualized. There's a whole ritual of how cleaning the body, keeping the body clean. Like one time when Mother Yasoda was, Lord Chaitanya's mother, Sachi Devi, was cooking for him. If I forget what happened, someone touched the wall or something like that. She stopped cooking everything and started all over again because something happened, and she was very strict, so she just started all over again. So that's when you're doing very, let's say, strict deity worship. You have to be extremely, extremely clean. So the outside reflects the inside when you're a devotee. But you should never criticize a devotee whose physical appearance is not nice. Maybe they have some disease or they're born with some defect. That should not be criticized. But definitely the devotee should be clean all the time. Clothing, physically clean. Okay, so we'll just do one more and then we'll stop. That's steadiness. Steadiness means that one should be very determined to make progress in spiritual life. Without such determination, one cannot make tangible progress. And self-control means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of spiritual progress. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. This is real renunciation. The senses are so strong that they are always anxious to have sense gratification. One should not cater to these demands, which are not necessary. The senses should only be gratified to keep the body fit so that one can discharge his duty in advancing in spiritual life. The most important and uncontrollable sense is the tongue. If one can control the tongue, then there is every possibility of controlling the other senses. The function of the tongue is to taste and to vibrate. Therefore, by systematic regulation, the tongue should always be engaged in tasting the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna. As far as the eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. That will control the eyes. Similarly, the ears should be engaged in hearing about Krishna and the nose in smelling the flowers offered to Krishna. This is the process of devotional service, and it is understood here that Bhagavad Gita is simply expounding the science of devotional service. Devotional service is the main and sole objective. Unintelligent commentators on the Bhagavad Gita try to divert the mind of the reader to other subjects, but there is no other subject in Bhagavad Gita than devotional service. So we'll stop right there. So, ideally what you would do now is connect the pertinent part of the purport to the Sanskrit words in the verse and to the 18 points here. So that's a bigger job. You connect the pertinent parts of the purport to point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. So then you have a flow chart. You have the 18 points here. You have the Sanskrit words in the verse. And then you have the parts of the purport that correspond, that explain it much more in depth. So now you have two explanations. You have explanation 18 points, and you have explanation of the purport, and you have the Sanskrit words. If you learn this, you could preach for the next 20 years. Right? There's enough information for 20, 30 years of preaching. Well, yeah. Well, it's good to memorize it.
Yeah, it's not just enough.
Yeah. Well, someone asked me that question. They said, you say that Krishna reveals knowledge. how does he reveal knowledge? I said, well, first you memorize something, and then the more you repeat it. You memorize it by hearing and repeating. Hearing, repeating. So, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So if you hear and repeat something enough times, then you Smaranam, you remember it. Right? That's the way little children learn, right? How to speak a language. They don't go to school, they don't know how to read. They just keep hearing and repeating what their parents say, and then they learn. So, by hearing and repeating enough times, you learn something, and then through practical experience of doing devotional service, Krishna gives you realization of how to apply what you learned in real life situations. Then you become self-realized. But if you don't engage in devotional service, it just remains something that you memorized, but you will not be able to see how to use it practically in your life. Okay? Like, for example, if Bhima did not have such respect for his brother, and respect for Guru, and respect for the Vedic culture, he would not have been able to control himself when Dushasana was dragging Draupadi and trying to strip her. He would not have been able to control himself. That's it. So he had to wait for the right time, when he was on the battlefield and Dushasana was on the other side, and then when they encountered each other, and at that time, he had the right to kill him. If he wanted to drink his blood, he could drink his blood, do whatever he wanted, you know. But if he was not a devotee and not bound by duty to his brother and to his gurus, he would not have been able to control himself. So therefore, the main thing is accepting Guru. You know, it doesn't simply mean you have a fire sacrifice. Accepting seriously the commitment to follow the instructions of bona fide gurus and Krishna. Then you can control yourself, even though certain situations seem intolerable. And you will always encounter intolerable situations in material life. There will always happen, so that you'll be tested, whether you actually have realization or not. Right? So Prahlad Maharaj was tested, Dhruva Maharaj was tested, Harivilas Thakur was tested. Every devotee is going to be tested. The test is to see whether you have simply memorized something like a parrot, or whether you have real realization of it. Okay. Haribol. Therefore, we should not be afraid of the test, but we should be prepared for it.
Whereas three brothers also took great joy in following the group, right? I'll add another example. All three of them also took great joy in following the group.
How about Holika?
Yeah, Holika was his aunt.
Prabhuji, I have one suggestion for the class.
Yeah.
If, let's say, I'm attending this class remote, so Prabhuji, it will help either we have question session in the end after we do the mail, or we should give the people mic who want to speak in between, because if the person who is listening remote, they won't be able to listen what we are talking about. No, I have.
Generally, in this situation, if somebody asks question, you just repeat the question in the mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. You can do that. But if you want to have a mic, I mean, someone has to come and technically take care of these things, right?
Because otherwise it becomes like we are not able to hear because these will be recorded now for years. So we want to have like complete recording. So we can have either in the end question answer session. Example, that is like either we can do it in the end so that Prabhu finishes his lecture and we can note down all the questions which we have and ask in the end.
Well, it's better you ask the questions as we go along.
Exactly. Because we can just repeat the question for the
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Haribol.